So I'm going to talk today about caregiver burnout and compassion fatigue, which are actually two different things that make up our lives. Here's my little guy. And just in his day-to-day life of experiencing his normal stressors, it affects him. Ideally, this little guy has some self-care systems in place to help him rest and get back into perspective and to understand his limits and move forward. Now this little guy, if we imagine that he's a caregiver, there are other factors in play now. He's not just caring for himself, he's caring for other people as well. Maybe he's a caregiver of his own children. He's got 2 or 3 kids. One of them has special needs. Maybe those special needs involve medical appointments or other specialists, a psychologist perhaps. Maybe there's special school meetings because this child's educational needs are more complex. Maybe there's social workers involved. You can see that this poor person is rapidly getting overwhelmed. Burnout happens when we feel exhausted and maybe helpless, feeling that we're not in control of the situation anymore, we can't manage it. Compassion fatigue is when we're caring for somebody who has experienced trauma. This could happen in your own home, foster parents who have children in their home who've experienced unhappy things. So when you're dealing with other people's pain, instead of carrying it and just having it weighing you down, it's like they're absorbing it into their skin. It's in there now. They're experiencing it almost like they've experienced that trauma too. You absorb enough of this pain, other people's pain, and it gets really challenging. Your self-care isn't working anymore. Okay, you need some other help. Warning signs to let us know when we're getting overwhelmed by either burnout or compassion fatigue. The biggest warning signs are when we start withdrawing from our family and friends. People get isolated. They lose the energy to be with other people. They lose pleasure in things they used to enjoy. They can feel sad, hopeless, more irritability, just because they just have less tolerance, less patience for life, less energy for complex emotional issues. Compassion fatigue, again, a decreased empathy, a lack of feeling of enjoyment. They're more negative, they're more critical, they're less compassionate with each other. What can you do? The first thing you can do is proactive. Stay as healthy as possible. Health involves adequate sleep, adequate exercise, adequate diet, drinking water. Those things are things that we can do proactively just to equip us, to give us as good a foundation as possible to withstand stressors. Setting reasonable goals for yourself. Understanding that we are not Superman. Setting limits. If it's your own child in your own home and you maybe don't have the resources to bring in a caregiver, that can be really challenging. And having a support system, that's very important for all of us. And understanding that there are some warning signs that would indicate that perhaps there's another level of support you need. If your sleep patterns are changing, maybe sleeping more and more and more, or less and less. If you're getting sick more often, if you are starting to use unhealthy self-care options like overeating or using substances more often than you were before. If you're starting to get thoughts that you want to hurt yourself or you want to hurt the person that you're caring for, those are red flags that you would want to maybe go and get accessing supports through a psychologist. Caregivers also have access to respite services through various agencies. It gives you a time to rest and breathe in and out, knowing that your loved one is cared for and that you can care for yourself. Some people have a great deal of difficulty reaching out for that kind of support. They feel guilty. But again, this is a part of knowing your own limits. Understand that you can only do so much. We are not super people as much as we would like to be.